All right, here we are again with 21st Century Music Theory. What's up, Mike?
Yeah, you doing fine?
All right, I'm doing good. When we wish to expand our knowledge of any language or skill, we will want to learn to focus on the process of daily or regular interval discipline and not concern ourselves with the outcome, product, speed, or perfection of accomplishment.
Yeah, so the whole point of this is that when we focus on outcomes and grades or how other people perceive us, we're not focusing on what we have control over. So if we systematically and progressively concentrate and apply small and narrow exercises into our regiment, over time, and this is with anything, not just music, we will achieve our goals. So right, we just place one foot in front of the other and just keep doing that and the results will come. Let's take this course for instance. What steps would you systematically apply to master music reading, writing performance, or hearing the vocabulary of music theory?
First, I'd have a career and life plan.
Yeah, and know realistically which dreams and possibilities best fit me. And if I don't know this, I build time into my regiment to investigate professions, shadow other professionals, and learn more about myself, including seeing counselors and anybody else I need to be able to figure out what direction I'm going.
Number two, knowing this, I'd set aside specific days, times, and practice music.
Making sure that the time I set aside is realistic to my goals and abilities. Starting small and meeting our goals is much better than planning long sessions and abandoning the regiment. Small, regular steps will get us to our goals.
Third, to however many, based on what you know and what you need, insert narrowly defined skills into your regimen.
Replacing each mastered skill with the next, one after another until you get where you want to be.
All right, how do I know what I need?
Yeah, every path is different. That's the whole point of learning to know yourself, get objective feedback, and eventually designing and redesigning a path that fits you the best. For instance, if I want to play in orchestras, or I want to play shows, or I want to be a studio musician, I will want to read music. I mean, I will have to read music. And so I would want to do the following.
Practice pitch recognition
in treble and bass clefs, then add the metronome to practice time and push my recognition speed.
Practice pitch location
by learning the major and minor scales and the fingerings in each key. If piano or guitar, or if another instrument, I build some piano into my regiment and I would practice the fingerings of each major and minor scale.
Practice rhythm recognition.
First in common time, and then in the meters I most use in the music I wish to play. There are basically 7 meters that will get us to our goal. 4/4, 3/4, 2/4, cut time, 12/8, 9/8, and 6/8 will cover an awful lot of ground.
Pick progressively more complex pieces.
Again, pick a piece that you can manage, then sound out the rhythm, play the scales of that particular key signature, and then slowly combine the pitches and rhythms a few measures at a time until we reach our goal.
All right, Michael, what if I want to compose or write songs?
Yeah, then I'd start first of all with learning to sonograph simple popular music and then evolve to more complex music over time, because I want to see the roadmap and begin to start to hear what other composers do. I'd first then master all my reading skills, because the whole idea of writing music and reading music, if I can read it, then I can write it. It reinforces the language. But then I'd reverse the process and I'd focus in on learning to transcribe rhythms, learning to recognize intervals, and then combine them into transcribing melodies. Then I'd also practice memorizing all major keys and scales and learning to plug the harmonic chord formulas into each key, and practice the basic chord progressions in each of the keys. I would then collaborate with other musicians on any area of weakness. So if I don't write lyrics, I want to write songs, I'd hang out with excellent poets, rappers, lyricists. If melody, I'd hang out with singers who also are willing to take risk and invent melodies. And if chords, I'd want to hang out with folks who have the strongest chord vocabularies and can build this into my regiment. Then I'd also find a path for me to compose, starting with my strengths and ending with my weaknesses. and my collaborations with others. And then practice 2 additional things. Let myself compose things that aren't necessarily good or profound, as all things start not so good and eventually become good over time. And then always finish what I start. That is, press to complete whatever I compose. If I have 30 minutes to write a song, then write the whole song in 30 minutes. And come back later and revise, but never let judgment or feelings of inadequacy sabotage my completing what I start. This is a mantra for any successful composer. Finish what you start. So it's safe to say a carefully planned hierarchy of tasks, beginning with the most immediate and slowly progressing over time to the more complex tasks.
Done on a daily set weekly regimen. We follow much the same formula as world-class athletes until we have mastered the musical language.
Right.
First, warm up. Practice the disciplines you've learned in prior sessions.
Yeah, this is to reinforce the pathways of our brain and accessibility of what we've learned before. It also helps us warm up our hands, our fingers, and our physical sense of time. So we reinforce what we've done in the past.
Number 2, learn new vocabulary, whatever is next on your list.
Yeah, the idea is that we learn things in small increments, one step after another. So once again, after we've mastered pitch names and we mastered pitch locations, sounding out rhythms, combining pitches and rhythms, learning keys and scales, learning chords, etc., 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 then we introduce whatever is next on our list based on our goals.
Finally, third, find an application of new vocabulary to your music goals.
Okay, the key point here is that we are self-motivated to continue using whatever we've learned and that we carry it into our passions and interests. So if we find a creative and motivational application for whatever vocabulary we learned, we're much more likely to go ahead and continue to practice and use that information until it becomes solidly in our vocabulary. Does that make sense?
It does.
All right. So Regimen, that's where it's at, right?
All right.